Hello everyone, hello, welcome back, welcome junior coders, welcome back once again. Hello everyone, my name is Gargi and I am welcoming you to my coding channel, Coding with Gargi. So what are we going to learn today? So today we will be discussing about what is data visualization. We will learn what is data visualization and how it helps in our coding part. So first of all, what is this data visualization? So in simple words, data visualization is nothing but we will represent the data in a graphical form. Just like if you have seen the histograms or the pie charts or the bar graphs or the scatter graph, line graph, this is nothing but the data visualization. We are representing the data in a graphical form. Okay, so let us just understand what is data visualization. Okay, so data visualization means the graphical representation of information and data. We will represent the data, the information into a graphical way. What is the graphical way? Just like I have said you, the bar graphs, the line graphs, the pie charts, the histograms, etc. With the help of data visualization, we can easily understand and compare the data. Let us say as a programmer, we will deal with multiple lines like 50,000 and more than that of lines. Now in one file we have so long data, so much of data, and we have to compare which is the maximum data or which is the least data. We have to compare the data. So it is very difficult to compare it in that way. But if we represent it in a graphical way, we did the data visualization, then it is very easy to compare the data and understand the data. So how we will represent the data? We will represent the data into three graphs. Okay, so we will be talking about the bar graphs, the line graph, and the scatter graph. So the bar graph, line graph, and scatter graph. You must have heard about the bar graph or line graph or scatter graph. If not, today we will be come to know what are these graphs. So just for understanding, I have given you some pictures of bar graph, line graph, and scatter graph. So this is nothing but the bar graph. Okay, let me mention it is bar graph, and here we are representing some data. Now what is this data? This data, as you can see, it is of internet users and the country, and we have different colors and design for different countries. Here we have 5 countries including Brazil, China, India, Japan, and United States, and we are comparing which country has the maximum internet users, which country has the least internet users. Okay, so this is easy to compare and understand. So that is nothing but the bar graph. Then we have line graph. So line graph, here we are comparing the per capita income in the year in the different countries. Like the lines are representing the different countries. Like we have many countries over here including Aruba, Afghanistan, Angola, Albania, Andorra, Arab world, and so on. So this is what, again, one type of representation. Then we have the scatter graph. The scatter graph has small balls which are telling us about the countries and the information like the per capita, right? So this is nothing but this color ball is representing the Japan, this is representing the Brazil, this is representing the India, such as we will represent the data, so on. So this is nothing but the scatter graph. So now how we are going to plot the scatter graph, that we will learn today. Not only scatter graph, we will learn how to plot the bar graph, line graph, and scatter graph. So let us start. Okay, let us understand how we will do this. So let's get started with the coding part. Let's get started. Okay guys, so here I am. So first of all, I have opened the Visual Studio Code, and then I have created a folder which is data visualization. And then I have imported some of the data which I have of different countries, internet users, and so on. So as you can see, I have two set of datas. data1.csv and data2.csv. Okay, so let me just create a file and let me just tell you about it. Okay, so data1.csv is having country, year, per capita income and per capita income, and if you can see the data is of 92 lines, so it is very small data I have taken over here. Then we have data2.csv where we have country, internet users, population, per capita and some years and percentage. Okay, so this data we are going to represent into bar graph, line graph and scatter graph. Now how we are going to represent it? Before that, if you can see, the extension of the data files is .csv, right? So what is CSV? CSV is nothing but comma separated values, right? So in this we can store our data in the tabular form, right? We can save it in the tabular form just like the rows and columns. Like if you have seen here, we have country, year, per capita income, and then we have different countries, names, years and then so on. So this is how the CSV means. Now let us start with representing the data. Okay, before that, for representing the data you will need two packages, that is Pandas and plotly.express. Okay, so these two packages you will need. So Pandas for reading the data and plotly.express to represent the data into bar graph, line graph and scatter graph. So you have to make sure that by opening command prompt you have to import this data. So first of all you have to open the command prompt, okay, and then you have to write, then you can write pip install pandas, or you can write or here I will mention it, you can write pip install plotly.express. Once you have installed it in your command prompt, then you can use it here as well. Okay, so this is how you have to do it. So let's start. Okay, so we will create three different files. Okay, why three different files? Because we are going to represent the data in three graphs, right? The bar graph, then the line graph and the scatter graph. So we will create three different files and we will start coding over there. So let's create bar.py, okay, then line.py and then scatter.py. Okay, so these three graph or these three files we have created. Now let's start from the bar graph. Okay, so first of all you have to read the data. Now that means we have to import one package, that is import pandas. So pandas package is used to read the data. Whatever the data is given to us in the form of the CSV, we will read the data and then we can represent the data in the bar graph. Okay, so import pandas. Now pandas is a big name, every time we have to call pandas. So I'm just mentioning that I will call this pandas as PD. Okay, you can call it anything, you can call it PA or PES or anything, whatever you think. Okay, so import pandas as PD. So pandas is the package name and I will be calling it PD, so for shortcut, right? Now let's read the data first of all. So we'll call the data as data equals to, we will save the data in the data variable, this is the variable, and we will read the data by pd dot, that is nothing but pandas dot read underscore csv. So read CSV is a predefined function which helps us to read the data from any file, right? So the file we are using over here is data2.csv. Okay, so this will be reading part. Now the data we got in the data variable, we have all the data which is in the data2.csv file. Now we have to represent it. For representing, we need another package, that is plotly.express. Okay, now plotly.express is again a big name, so I'm going to call it as PE. You can call it as PX or PT or anything, but I'm calling it as PE. Okay, so what we have to call, we have to create one more variable now, that is graph. So graph equals to, create the graph by with the help of plotly.express, that is pe.bar. Okay, so in this way the bar is a predefined function which we will use to create the bar graph. The first thing will be what we have to represent. We have to represent the data which is in the data variable, right? Then we have two axes in the bar graph, x-axis and y-axis. Now x-axis is the independent variable and y is the dependent. So on the x-axis we will be telling about the country, which is the independent variable, like India, Brazil, China, Japan, etc. And on the y-axis we will be representing the internet users, which is different for all. So just we have to check whether the you have written the same name as it is there in the file, otherwise it will show you an error. Okay, and let's give also the color, different colors for different different countries. So on the basis of that we are giving colors, so country and then simple graph.show. Graph.show function will show us the graph. Okay, let us see now. Okay, so it is taking a little bit of time and then it will be showing yes. So as you can see, this is our data. We have internet users over here and we have country and different colors like Brazil, China, India, Japan and United States. Okay, so this is how we will represent the data. And then it is also easy to compare. We can say that it is 120 million in Brazil. In China it is 765 billion. In India it is 461.3476 million. In Japan it is 115.8451 million. In United States it is 244.0909 million. So this is how we can represent the data in the bar graph. It's very easy to represent this type of data. Okay, yes. So I have got zoom in into it. Fine. Now let us represent the another thing, that is the line graph. Okay, so let us start with doing the same thing. Now just as we have done for bar graph, same thing we have to do in the line graph also. We have to read the data, then we have to call the function, then but we will use a different function. Instead of bar, now we will call here line, right? So import pandas as pd for reading the data, then import plotly.express for for representing the data in the line graph, then creating a variable data so that we can read the data from the files, pd.read_csv, in double quotes the name of the file, that is, now here we were using data1.csv. then we will be using another variable graph to create the line graph, right? Then p.line, which is function used to create the line graph. Then what we have to display in the line graph, the data, so data, and then again the x-axis and the y-axis. So x-axis over here, as you can see in the data1.csv, we have country and per capita income. So let us show that, or yes, so country and per capita income will be shown. So x-axis there would be country and y-axis we will be showing per capita income. Yes, and then graph dot show, and then run, and we will be seeing the line graph over there. Oh, this is the line graph. We have per capita income, and then we have the countries, as you can see. Okay, we can also change it, like instead of country over here we can write year, and then we can check it how it will look, as we have in the data1.csv year and per capita income. Let's see how it looks now. This is the data. It's looking like very zigzag, but it's the data per capita income and then year. We can also give here color, right? Let's check. Color equals to country. Let's run it. Okay, as you can see, this is it is better than this. This was like totally wrong. I mean, not wrong, but it was like totally horrible, line graph. It was per capita income and country. Then we saw per capita income and year, and it was also not looking good. So we just colored it with different countries. Now we can easily compare this, right? It is better. Like the red line over here is Australia. In year 2003, the per capita income was 23.440703K, right? So we can compare it. Fine. Now let's talk about the scatter graph. Okay guys, so now let's start with the scatter graph. So we have already studied the line graph and the bar graph. Now same thing for the scatter graph as well. So import pandas as PD, then this, yes, and then import plotly dot express as PE, and then we will read the data dot PD dot read CSV with, and we are going to read the data from the data1.csv. So data1.csv, then a variable graph to create the graph, scatter graph, then a predefined function scatter, p.scatter, to create the scatter graph. What we are going to represent the data, so here we will write data, the same thing which we have already done. So on the x-axis let's call country, and on the y-axis let's call per capita income. So let me just do that thing. Okay, you have to get the same name, because if the name is not same then it will show you the error. Okay, and then color, so we are going to also give the color for different balls, so on the basis of the countries. And then finally graph dot show. So this is how we are going to do it. Okay, now let's see what is the output. Fine. So we will see the bar graph over here. Scatter graph over here. So this is the scatter graph, looking totally different, as you can see. So we have country and then per capita income over here. So we can also do the same thing, like let's use data2.csv and let's check how it will look. Now let's take country and per capita. Let's take country and per capita. So country is already there. Let's take per capita. Okay, instead of per capita income it would be per capita, and now color would be country. And let's give also the size, like the size will be based on the factor. Now here we have percentage, as you can see. So we will give the one who has larger percentage will be larger ball, the one who has small percentage will be a small ball. So it's like that. So let's see what now how it will look. Okay, so this is how it is looking. As you can see, the big graph is of the Japan, and it is also on the top, and the small one is India, right? It's on downside. So yes, also we have United States, then Japan, then India, China, and Brazil, and we have per capita and the country name. So this is how we represent the data in the scatter graph as well. So we learn how to visualize the data. We visualize the data into the bar graph, into the line graph, and into the scatter graph. And you can graph it in many more styles. Okay, so we'll learn in the upcoming videos how to plot the disk plot and etc about the standard deviation, the mode, median, and mode. That also we will learn in the next video. So okay guys, bye bye, see you in the next video. Bye bye till then. In the next video we will be discussing about the mode, median, and mean. So bye bye guys, have a good day. Bye bye.